Welcome back, boys and girls. I'm Mr. Albrecht, and this is CKLA Unit 2. And this we're going to do today is we're going to stop and do some practice pages to get all this practice in, all the stuff we've been learning, okay? So we're going to work on some multiple vowel sounds and spellings through some practice pages today. What you need to have is your workbook, because we're going to use the practice pages in the back of your workbook. You'll need a pencil as well. So have those things ready at your learning location. So let's look at our learning targets. I can identify vowel sounds in words. I can hear sounds in words I write. Both good skills that we've been working on so that as you write words, you can identify those vowel sounds and you can hear them to help you out. So we're going to practice a little bit of that today through 3 different activities. All right, so the first one, we're going to look at practice page 1. It's in the back of your book on page 97. Back of your book, page 97, and we're going to practice catching vowel sounds, okay? So when we look at this, a couple things we want to ask ourselves. So I'm going to say the words, and we're going to read them, and then I'm going to listen closely for the vowel sound. So you're going to say the word, you're going to read it again, and you're going to listen closely for that vowel sound. First of all, think, is that vowel sound long or is it short? Do you actually hear that letter making the long sound, or do you hear the vowel team making a short sound like or ah? Are there some buddy letters that are helping make that sound different? So kind of keep your eyes on those on this worksheet because there might be. So remember all the stuff we've learned, we're going to practice right here on practice page 1 when we're looking for vowel sounds. So let's look at the first few together. So we're on page 97, we're looking at practice page 1, and the first one's been done for us, and it is the word catch. So think about that. You say the word catch. You hear the ah sound, and if you really think about it, you cover up that ch, you see the word cat. So you know that that's going to be that short vowel sound as an ah. So let's look at the next word over here. This word is green, absolutely. What vowel sound are we looking for? E, right? We hear the long vowel sound E. So what in this word is making that E sound? If you circle the 2 E's, you're right. These 2 E's are a vowel team making that long E sound. Good. Let's look at the next one. What word is this? Spend. Good. So again, think about taking off that digraph at the beginning. We have SP, sp, and we see the word end. So we hear a short E sound, right? So we're going to circle just the E for that one because that's the vowel sound that's in that word, eh. What about this one? What word is that? Boil. Boil, right? So now we hear that oi sound, and we know that oi sound from what we've been learning is made with an OI combination, so we're going to circle that. Okay, so it's as simple as this. Is when we read the words, we really listen to those vowel sounds, and then we identify them in the word, okay? But this is practice so that when we're writing, we're also listening and thinking about the vowel sounds that we hear in the words we're writing. All right, let's look at this word, trick. We hear the I sound in there. That's that short I. Remember, I'm always asking myself, is it long, is it short? I hear an I sound, and that is because it's surrounded by consonants. So I'm just going to circle that I in there. Let's look at this one. Spoon, sp-oo-n. So here we have that unique vowel sound oo, and that's made with our double O's, spoon. So in this word cord, we're looking for what? Do we have an O sound or do we have that R influenced? Okay, so think about that one, cord. We do hear the or, so that vowel team, that vowel sound, remember we would have circled that in blue in our individual code charts because we have OR, or, cord. Now we're going to look at this other one over here, and this is foot. Foot. So here, look at the combination again. We have that double O, and it sounds different than it does in spoon, doesn't it? Double O here is oo, double O there is So we got to remember that those letter combinations make different sounds. So I want you to go ahead and finish page 97 on your own, and if you turn the page, you have more on the back on page 98. Pause the video here and take a few minutes to complete this, but do your best. When you come back, I'll show you my work, and you can check it against that. All right, boys and girls, welcome back. Hopefully you've completed page 97 and page 98. You've gone through and you've circled all the vowel sounds that you heard in those words. pay close attention. When you got to page 98, you might have found that there were a couple different vowel sounds because you had compound words. Remember, like a word like footprint and wishbone and bedtime, they're going to have multiple circles. And just remember, boys and girls, on the separated digraph, like in base, you have that long A sound made with the A consonant E. Don't forget to give it that horseshoe circle so that you include that E as part of your vowel sound. That's what's making that long A. Let's move on. We're going to take a look now at practice page 4, and we're going to be doing some circling spellings here, but this time you get a picture. I like these, they're kind of fun. You get the picture, and you're going to look at that picture. You're going to first have to identify what that picture is, what it shows, and then you have to think what sounds are making up this word. So next, you're going to choose one sound from each column in the table. So when you look at the page, you'll see you have different columns, and you'll see the first one's done for us, and I'm going to show you how they did that. And finally, you're going to combine those circled sounds together to spell the word and write it neatly on the line. All right? So let's take a look at the first one. We see a picture, so we have to think, identify what the picture is showing us. All right? I see a little girl doing some painting. I might call her I look at the R and I'm like, I can't think of a word that starts with R that I could call her. I don't know her name, so her name's not going to start with an R. But maybe this AR, because I'm thinking, okay, oh, artist. I'm hearing it now. I'm thinking about this as an art picture of an artist. So I've got to first identify it, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to circle that AR sound because R does not sound like R. Okay, so we're going to artist. So I hear artist. I'm going to have to say the word several times, and I hear the T sound, not the D sound. T. So I circled the T. Then I'm listening for the next sound. I'm listening for, is it art? Yeah, I can't even do it, right? So I got to think, is I sound, right? So looking for that vowel sound. Art, I, st. So I hear the S, not a K, the S. At the end, listen to the ending, artist. I'm listening for that T, right? So now we're going to write it neatly right there on the line, and we have done the first one just like they did in the book. They have it there for you to reference back to. So let's take a look at the next one. So the next one is a picture of what? I've got to identify what the picture is first. It's a picture of a harp. It's a musical instrument, right? And so I'm listening to that word. Once I identify it, and I say it to myself, harp. So I start to see, oh, I have the beginning sound as an H. So I'm going to circle that H. Let's say the word again, harp. So we hear A like in hap, or do we hear an R sound? I hear an R sound. So I'm going to circle the AR. Now pay attention to that ending sound, because when I say hark or harp, so we're listening for the P sound at the end, right? There is a word called hark, right? When somebody sings out or calls out, we could say it's hark. So we want to write this word, harp, with the P ending on the end on the line, okay? All right, let's look at this last one together, and then you can do the remaining on your own, okay? So this is a picture of, well, it looks like a playground to me, but playground is a long word. I know that. It's 2 words put together, and I only have 3 boxes, so playground's not it. So maybe what if I looked at the beginning sounds? I'm given a choice of P or B. And I start to think about what other sounds I'm giving. Maybe they're asking me where I see this. Oh, I might see this at a park. Okay, so now I'm thinking that's going to start with that P sound and not the B, but P as in park. So I circle that one, and I think again, R. So I'm hearing that R sound again. All right, so now we're going to listen for that ending sound. So say it again, park. And we hear the K sound at the end. So we circle the K, and now we write that word on the line, park. All right, boys and girls, go ahead and finish up the remaining one on page 103. And then if you turn the page on page 104, there's some more for you to practice. Remember, say the word out loud so that you hear the sounds that are being made, and then start to circle as you go, saying the word over each time so that you're listening for those letter sounds. And when you're done, you think you've got the right letters circled, go ahead and write it on the line. All right, so go ahead and pause the video here, and I'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Welcome back, boys and girls. Take a look at my screen here and see if you've got yours written correctly. Page 103 is right here, so we finished with part together. The next one was queen, so we had a picture of a queen on a card, and we circled the Q-U because they go together always, right? Qu, E, long E in the end sound. Then we went down, the last one on page 103 was book. And so we had to think about the O in that versus the OU sound. And hopefully you got the beginning and ending sounds well there. Page 104, we had spoon, knife. Now that might have been tricky there, is you got to remember you've got your I and the E to give you that long vowel sound in that because you have a vowel, consonant, vowel. Then we have, the next one is farmer. So we kind of look at these pictures and we had to decide this is a farmer. We hear the ER that we were practicing there at the end of that word. Not just the R, but the ER. Notice that got a little tricky there. Then we have the word globe, and we have to think about the two sounds at the beginning, g, l, and then that vowel consonant E again at the end, globe. And the last one was garden, and again we have the AR combination in that, and we had another vowel as in the E, and this almost last box there says garden. So hopefully you did really well on those, and you can check mark each one. All right, boys and girls, let's stop here. Let's stand up and get a little brain break going on here because we've done a lot on these 2 pages. And so before we get into the last activity today, let's stand up, wiggle those arms out again, and maybe even shake your legs a little bit. The first one we're going to do today is we're going to act startled. So think about that, startled. You hear the R sound in that made with the AR. Don't forget that. Startled. So how do we act startled, right? What happens when somebody scares you, right? I go, boo! And you go, ah! Right? So you might think that, look, that might be startled, right? Or you just jump. You just kind of like that. So that's being startled. Somebody jumps out and bushes at you. What about, say, an antonym for mad? What would be an antonym for mad? Can you show it to me on your face? If you did this, you were right. The antonym for mad is happy. So you might practice that again. The antonym for mad, happy. What's a synonym for mad? Synonym means the same. What's the synonym for mad? Could be that you're frustrated. Sometimes we get mad and frustrated. You could say that. And then how about the last one? Because when we get mad and we show it, we might moan and groan, right? And you can just kind of let some out because you're doing a lot of quiet work today. So just moan and groan right there near your learning location. Just get it out. And then when you're ready and you've moaned and groaned and acted happy and sad and mad, you can have a seat. And we're going to get started right away back into the last activity for today. We're going to do some teacher chaining. Okay, let's chain some words. So take a moment, if you have to pause the video here, but grab that dry erase board, maybe a dry erase marker, maybe even just a pencil and paper is fine, but grab those because we want you writing these at home so that you get practice with chaining, okay? I'm going to give you a word. I'm going to tell you what to change at home. You do it on your paper or on your dry erase board, okay? So let's take a look. So the first word you're going to write is going to be hook, okay? So go ahead and write that on your paper or your board. All right, and I want you to change the ending sound from k to d. K to d. Did you come up with this word? Hood. So we left the beginning sound and the middle sound together, but we changed the ending sound from k to d. So we went from hook to hood. All right, so now you've written that one. Get ready, and you're going to change the beginning sound from h or h to g. Okay, h to g. Did you write good? Notice we started at hook, went to hood with a change of the end. Now we changed the beginning to good, or g. All right, now change the g to w. G to w. G to w. What are you going to have? Wood. Like you have wood out in the fire pit, right? So you can start a fire. All right, change the middle sound from to E. I'm going to change the middle sound from to E. And I'm going to have weed. Notice that the beginning and end sounds the same as in wood, and we moved the middle sound to E. We moved that middle sound to E from All right, now change the beginning sound from W to S. Change it from W to S. What word am I going to have there? I'm going to have seed, all the way at the very end, seed. Now, change the ending sound from D to N, D to N. And you should get seen. We kept the beginning sound and the middle sound the same and changed the ending sound. All right, one last change on this one is I want you to drop the N sound completely. What word am I going to have? See, right? So we can see that all these words are very related, but just changing the sounds, it makes different words. All right, this time I want you to write the word sort, like I'm going to sort my clothes. Might have to sort your socks, make sure they match in your drawer. All right, I want you to change the beginning sound to change the beginning sound from S to F, from S to F. And what are you going to have? Fort, F-ort. Now, we went from sort to fort. What's going to be in here when we change the middle sound? Okay, we're going to change that middle sound or to or to Be careful on that one. This is a little trickier. Beginning sound was f, t, foot. So we went from fort to foot. All right. Now let's change that middle sound to E. Now think about that. We're changing this middle sound to E. What vowels do you need to make the E sound? Keeping the beginning and the end the same. And if you said feet, you were right. 2 E's come in there. All right, now change the ending sound from T to ul. T to ul. What are you going to have? Feel. Feel, like I'm going to feel my arm. Okay? Change the E sound to oi. The E sound to oi. What word am I going to get there? Foil. I went from feel to foil just by changing the vowel sound in the middle. Beginning and end stayed the same. From foil, change your vowel sound to ow. Change your vowel sound to ow. Be careful on this one. So you're keeping the beginning and ending the same, and you're changing it to ow. You should have foul, like in your baseball, and you hit the ball out the right. It's a foul. And now change your ow sound in the middle to oo. Okay? Change that ow to oo, and you're going to get fool, like acting like a fool, right? Now change the ending sound. We've been working a lot in the middle. We went from foul to fool. Now let's change the ending sound to d, from ul to d. Let me say that again, from ul to d. What should I have? Food. Notice it changed. And the last change we're going to make now is to the beginning sound. We're going to take away the f, and we're going to put a change f to And so what word are we going to have? We're going to have mood. Ood. Mood. Good job, boys and girls. That's a tough one, because there's a lot of changes in that one, in the vowel sounds, the vowel teams. That was good practice for those vowel teams, and really listening for those and thinking about them when we write our words, because that was one of our goals today, right? Is to think and identify those vowel sounds in our words that we're writing and be able to hear them clearly. That was really our goal today. So hopefully through our practice activities that you got the opportunity to get some more practice of that in. If you need more practice, by all means, do some more chaining words. Have mom or dad or somebody give you some words and just change the beginnings and the middles and the ends and have fun with that, because it is a fun activity, okay? All right, boys and girls, this has been CKLA practice pages. Not really a lesson, but we're practicing what we've learned, and I'll see you next time back here where we can continue practicing some more skills that we've learned. Bye-bye for now.